Today we are talking about the benefits of using a digital expense tracker. Now, I love paper, and maybe you're with me on that. Maybe you've always used a paper expense tracker before. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I offer a free paper expense tracker on my website, and the link to that will be in the description below. But I do want to remind you that there is another option out there, and that is a digital expense tracker. And the one I use is called EveryDollar. It's the EveryDollar app by Dave Ramsey. The EveryDollar app could be an entire budget tracker. You can create your budget on it. You can keep track of all of your expenses on it. You can categorize your expenses. So there's a lot of options for the EveryDollar app. The way my family uses the EveryDollar app is as an expense tracker. So it's not the sum totality of our budget. It's just the portion of our budget that we track each month. And basically, that's our variable expenses. So we have our regular expenses in a separate sort of budget program that we use. Thankfully, my husband has made a whole Excel workbook for us. And it's a little complicated, but it works well because we have a complicated system for our finances. But as far as tracking our day-to-day expenses, I like to use the EveryDollar app. Let me share with you some pros for using the EveryDollar app or a different digital expense tracker. There are many out there, and I definitely haven't used them all, but there are people on YouTube who do reviews of these various budgeting apps. But I'm just going to talk about the EveryDollar app today. What are the pros for using a digital expense tracker like that? Well, number one, it is with you in your pocket everywhere you go. So if you have the app on your phone and you're buying something in the grocery store and then you pop on over to, say, Marshall's or Ross, and then you pop on over to Chick-fil-A, everywhere you go, you can record your expenses. There's no excuse for going home and forgetting one of your stops, right? Because it's with you wherever you go. The second pro is that you don't have to do any adding or subtracting. It just does it for you automatically. It's very quick. And that leads me to the third pro, which is that you can see your current amount without any mathing on your part at any moment. So you know at any moment of any given day in any given month exactly how much you have left in your budget for that category. That is a huge blessing. Another pro is that you can look back kind of forever or for however long you've been using that app, and you can compare and you can spot trends from different months. So for instance, I could look back at the year before and see what my monthly category spending was. But I can also look back, if this is February 2025, I can look back to February 2024. I can look back to February 2023. And I can see how over the course of several years, my February budget tends to land in a certain place. It also reminds us of expenses that we might forget when we're setting up our budget, maybe annual expenses or some other one-off expense that we hit at a random time in our year. Looking back at that month in a different year can remind you of that. Another pro is that you can connect it to your bank account if you want. So we don't do this. We have the free version of EveryDollar app, but the premium version or other versions come with the option of connecting it to your bank account. That way you can see exactly what's left in your bank account. As I said, we have kind of a complicated system that wouldn't help us, but it might help you. You can even share this app with other family members. And that way you know the correct dollar amount at any given moment in the day, even if both you and other family members are all using the same budget. You're all using the same category and you're withdrawing at various times. So my husband and I share our EveryDollar app. If I'm at the grocery store and he's at the dentist, let's say, at the same time, we still know how much is in every category. Or if I am at the bookstore and he's at a game with my boys and they're buying food and various things, and then I go to the grocery store, I don't have to get that information from him. It's already in our EveryDollar app. So you can share these apps amongst your family members and you always have the correct number. Again, with no adding or subtracting on your part. The next pro is that it's free or inexpensive, depending on which app you use. The EveryDollar app, the way we use it, it's free. We spend nothing for it, and that helps keep our expenses low, and we like that. And another pro is that it's backed up conceivably forever. You're never going to lose it. You don't have to store it. Somebody else is storing all your information. You don't have to make sure that you have those papers in your file. It's not another file to grab if there's a fire in your house. You don't have to worry about losing years of information if it's backed up, it's on the internet, it's in your app. And then the very last pro I have for digital expense trackers is that it's fast, it's easy, and there's very little work for the setup. So I'm not telling you that you need to transfer if you're using a paper expense tracker. I'm definitely not telling you you need to change the way you're doing things and start using a digital expense tracker. But what I am saying is that there are many benefits. And if you've never thought that through before, maybe you want to give it a try and just see how you like it. And again, another comment here is just, or a reiteration, is just that you don't have to have your whole budget on that expense tracker. And you can track your expenses in multiple ways. Part of your budget, you might do better tracking on paper. Part of your budget, you might want an app such as EveryDollar. Part of your budget, you might want to keep track of in an Excel spreadsheet. Because those, depending on what your category is or whether it's a variable or a set expense or whether it's a sinking fund, you might have different ways of tracking those various different categories or kinds of categories. So what I want is for you to discover what's best for you. And I'd love for you to let me know if you've ever given EveryDollar a try, if you have any thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments below whether you prefer a digital expense tracker or a paper expense tracker, and maybe even let me know why. And next time we talk, we'll be talking about the benefits, the pros and the cons of a paper expense tracker. If you want to be sure not to miss that, go ahead and subscribe below so that you'll be alerted when that video comes out. But don't forget that I have a free expense tracker on my website. I'll be linking it in the comments below.